Good morning, everyone. John here, your host on the Prepared Mind channel. I want to thank you for sponsoring us here over at Patreon here. It's nice that I can do this and put the time and effort into really delving into news stories and then finding the angle that occurs to us as preppers is something we need to consider. It's kind of a talent I've always had, looking at things a little differently. Friends of mine always say, we don't know what you're going to say, John, where it's going to come from or how you get there. But at the very least, you're entertaining and sometimes you're even accurate. I love it how people, they go, oh, we don't always agree with you, but we sure enjoy listening to your stuff. Anyways, I've always been that way. Anecdotal story. When I was in first and second grade, can't remember which because I spent 2 years at that particular school down in Morgan Hill, California. The year 76, 77. The school was forcing children to gargle and rinse their teeth with fluoride. Right? And I tried it once and I did not like the flavor. And so I either spit it out or I spit it out from that point on. And man, did I cause a lot of trouble. Man, I'm just a first or second grader, this little toe-headed snowflake. What did they call me? Yeah, they called me Snowflake, Towhead. What other names did I have? A Ghost, Casper. I had all those crazy names, being this blonde. But I didn't like that stuff in my mouth. I didn't like what they were feeding me, in other words. I don't like what they're feeding us from Washington. So I've got this article from Buzz here, right? And I think about things differently. Deep fake evidence will send innocent people to jail, warns expert. Right? Deep fake material is one of the most recent examples was taking Bill Hader, the comedian, and putting Tom Cruise's face in the middle of it. We saw some problems with Nancy Pelosi, right? These fakes, they call them deep fakes, but it's essentially computer programs that put people's faces on other bodies. This has to do with the government using information, in other words, to convict people. This evidence, right, that they're talking about, this program that's been created, Shamir Ali-Bahai, CEO of video verification company Amber, believes content including CCTV and voice recordings will be subject to gross manipulation. He spoke amid alarming concerns over deepfake technology, raising eyebrows online, including a recent viral video of comedian Bill Hader morphing into actor Tom Cruise, right? He warns it's not only a matter of time before technology creeps its way into the system, but it's into the global judiciary system. Now, I have said for years, and I believe this technology that's just now coming into our hands in the private sector, us little people, I know the government already has it. They get first crack at everything to weaponize it. They can hack into our computers and our phones. They can plant information, pictures, documents, anything they want in there. They can extract information out of our phones and computers at any time if they want. They can create these computer-generated images and voices. Because the software available to us today, out here for free, is not too bad. So if that's the free version and the expensive version is even better, it's hard to imagine how good the government's is. Now, the deepfake evidence will send innocent people to jail, warns the experts, or an expert. Well, someone might argue, oh no, government doesn't do that. Are you kidding me? Right? My own experience over what the government and its agents are willing to do is shocking. From being threatened with death to numerous other things, right? You can get it from government bureaucrats, how they threaten, we're going to screw with you, we're going to take your property, right? We're going to take your driver's license, we're going to make your life miserable, we're going to get you fired because we don't like you. Right? The government does this all the time. These little backhanded comments, these veiled threats, and sometimes real action. Here's a story for you, because I'm not full of shit. For the first time ever, a prosecutor will go to jail for wrongfully convicting an innocent man. Now, don't get too happy. Don't get too happy, because let me read you a little bit of the story, and then we'll move on to where this is going for preppers and why we need to be concerned about this. And it needs as much sunshine, bright light, to disinfect it so that the people learn. But I don't think they will, but you and I as preppers will. Today in Texas, former prosecutor and judge Ken Anderson, he pled guilty to intentionally failing to disclose evidence in a case that sent an innocent man to prison for the murder of his wife. When trying the case, Anderson, a former prosecutor and judge, possessed evidence that would have cleared the man, right? Including statements from the crime's only eyewitness that Morton wasn't the culprit. This Michael Morton was not the murderer. And the prosecutor had evidence to suggest he wasn't, but he went along with the conviction anyways. Anderson sat on the evidence and then watched Morton get convicted. When Morton remained in prison for the next 25 years, Anderson's career flourished and he eventually became a judge. In today's deal, Anderson pled to criminal contempt and will have to give up his law license, perform 500 hours of community service, and spend 10 days in jail. Anderson has already resigned in September from his position on the Texas bench. Are you fucking kidding me? A man lost 25 years of his life, and this clown gets 10 days in jail, 500 hours of community service, and he had to give up his law license. I'm sure that $200,000 a year he made won't be going in restitution to Mr. Michael Morton. It's disgusting what they get away with and what they're willing to do. He intentionally did this. Why? Because people in power are corrupt. So going back to the deepfake evidence, what does this have to do with prepping? We're looking right now at red flag laws which would allow anyone to make a complaint against you and say that you made a threat, you wrote a text, a tweet, you did something that suggests that you're going to be violent. Deep fake evidence, folks. Voice recordings, video recordings of me, of you, being used, right? Cops, police, law enforcement. Here you go. This guy's a bad guy. Listen to this. Now the police have probable cause. Now they have reasonable suspicion to come to your place. They're going to use that and say that is enough due process for you. We need to protect the public from you. This is enough information now. We're going to take your guns and then you can go to court and try and get them back and prove that that deep fake wasn't you. Once again, putting the onus on us, right? The presumption of guilty instead of the presumption of innocence. And this computer technology will be used not only by the government to frame its enemies, but it'll be used by the general public. That is, political hacks, subversives, political operatives, anti-freedom, anti-constitutionalists, Antifa types, social justice warriors, radical feminists can all come out and say, these are our enemies, we don't like them. And they can create deep fake information. Right? Having social media is going to make you a target, whether it's Facebook or Twitter, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, anywhere. They can come after us and blame us. They can implant evidence onto our computers, into our social profiles. They can create deep fake audio and video. I have said enough words on here, right, that they know my voice patterns. They know all of this. And I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because of the risk, because of their threats, because I give a shit. Because it's worth fighting these people. But we need to understand what it is they can do. We need to understand what it is they're willing to do. We know that prosecutors, that law enforcement fabricate information all the time. Not all are bad, but there's enough bad that they've proven and demonstrated to the whole world that they are corrupt. And that the punishment, the odds of it, are low, and the odds of them getting caught are low, and then the punishment is nil, non-existent. You can destroy a man's life and get 10 days in jail for that? Well, hell, wouldn't it be great if I destroyed Hillary Clinton's life, right? But back when she was 20, so she couldn't do all the evil that she's done. Would that be worth it for me to go to jail 10 days? Oh yeah, if I could get away with it back then, sure. Right? Why wouldn't someone do that? So why won't these people out here in our world risk 10 days in jail to destroy your ability to defend yourself? They're already willing, these leftist lunatics, they're already willing to go out and commit mass murder with assault weapons, to try and get everyone's rights removed. What makes you think they won't attack us individually as well? That's what these red flag laws represent. A risk to our individual liberties based on the ability to fake information about us. It is a scary, scary, dystopian, Orwellian, brave new world. These people are coming for us. You have to be prepared. Because if they pass these laws, they're going to make it harder and harder for us to get means of self-defense. They're going to do that. They're willing to do that. They're wanting and waiting for the opportunities, and they're learning what it is they need to do. Fortunately, this article came out, yeah. This deep fake evidence, yeah, it pissed off some politicians. But now we should say, aha, they can use it against us. They can use it against us so that they can have justification and call that, like I said, there's your due process. Someone made a complaint and we have verified that you said these things because of some audio or video or text. The ability to hack and implant information on someone's computer or other devices. In other words, much like the polygraph lie detector test, right, which has been proven to be inaccurate, unreliable, and also can be fabricated or faked to prove someone's guilt. Understand the ways that they want to prove guilt are pseudoscience. Yeah, like psychology. Psychologists can declare people crazy because they don't agree with their politics, just like they tried it with Trump, because they don't believe or share the same ideology or belief system that you do. They can use psychology, they can use polygraphs, they can use deep fake technology to criminalize us, to say your rights are forfeited. That is the type of world we have where these people cannot come out and openly win in the arena of ideas because they are fomenting, because they are instigating, because they are corrupt mentally and they want lies out there. And people aren't buying the lies. They need to create a whole new level of lies. Right? Political propaganda no longer stands on its own because the people literally see the information and it's available to them to see that they're lying. Now, acolytes and idiots notwithstanding on the liberal side, right? People who are logical and reasonable, they think, and therefore the lies don't work. But the new version of lies, as well as the resuscitation of the old version of "you're crazy," says a psychiatrist or psychologist, right? And then this deep state technology or deep fake technology is going to give them more ammunition, pun intended, to come after us, right? The free people of America. Chance favors the prepared mind. Understand when we see news stories, there is an application to shit hitting the fan. There's an application because everything is going to be used to give the state supreme power. Everything is going to be used to try and destroy the Constitution as the economy comes down, as the world tumbles into a shit it's the fan scenario. There's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be a lot of pain. So you need to get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Because chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours? Semper Fi, Godspeed. I'll talk to you again very soon. And thank you very much for all the support you've lent me. It is wonderful. You have a great day.